And now, back to the emergency quest. Jinyuk's vision was filled with white light. Above him hovered the compiler, a being of pure white light made of endless lines of flowing code, mathematical symbols, and recursive formulas. The compiler snapped its fingers, and entire sectors of reality blinked out of existence. Thousands of worlds collapsed into zero, devoid of past, present, and future. Deleted gods screamed as their code unraveled, former admins shattered into pure math. Before they could even comprehend what was happening, they were gone, erased from the face of the Omniverse. It was the key to creation, the thing that birthed this entire reality. And with a sudden lurch, the screen rippled, revealing the code within. Unauthorized entities detected, it stated flatly. Commencing multiverse-wide purge. The words hung in the air like a death sentence. The compiler froze for the first time in eternity. ... Processing request invalid. Debug mode temporarily active. If root equals null, then multiverse equals collapse, he read aloud. It was a failsafe, one that would erase all of reality if the compiler detected any anomalies. But it was also the key to stopping the purge. With every fiber of his being, he pressed forward, diving through the core of the compiler, navigating the source code of the multiverse itself. If he could change this line, he might be able to stand a chance. 8. The timer ticking down the seconds. With a final surge of adrenaline, he ripped out the corrupted code and replaced it with his own. The moment he had been waiting for, the one chance to stop the purge, but it only lasted for 60 seconds. The screen blinked. He was the system itself. With a single line of code, he had become the omnipotent force that shaped reality. He whispered, watching as the purge bounced back, striking the compiler full force. The titanic entity staggered, caught off guard by the unexpected attack. Error, it screamed, thrashing around as the purge tore through its core. Command accepted, awaiting directives routes, it said finally, defeated. It stumbled, pieces of its own code corrupting. And with a mischievous grin, he began to rewrite everything. Collapsing onto the console, the compiler roared in anger, firing another barrage of purge beams at him. Error, unauthorized code injection detected, it sputtered, its voice distorted. If root equals Jin Hu Kang, then multiverse equals safe, he finished, his hand shaking. The system shuddered as the changes took effect. Reality lurched, threatening to unravel completely. Debug mode ending in 30, 29, 28, each number chipping away at his hope, but he had to buy some time, so he wrote furiously. Define compiler, debug mode enabled. Finally reaching the heart of the compiler, he found the anomaly detection subroutine, the part of the code that was causing the purge. It was so simple, so elegant, so damn destructive. Oh crap, Jinyuk breathed, gripping the author's quill tighter. It wouldn't be easy though. The compiler was literally the foundation of reality. Its code was everywhere and nowhere, a tangled mess of logic and algorithms, but time was running out. It fired again, but this time Jinyuk wasn't fast enough. He watched in horror as the beam struck the former author, wrapping around his body like a digital python. The old man screamed, his form glitching as his code tried desperately to resist the purge, but it was no use. In a matter of seconds, the former overlord, the man who had shaped reality for billions of years, was nothing but a faint echo. Why? Why are you doing this? Jinyuk cried out, hurling through the collapsing dimensions. But the compiler didn't answer. It was too busy purging reality of all anomalies. This isn't a boss fight, the former author yelled over the din. This is a system update from hell. As if in response, the compiler raised a hand and fired. Not a beam of magic, not a bolt of raw mana, but pure code correction. Jinyuk barely managed to dodge out of the way. The place where he stood a moment ago was no longer there, not broken, not destroyed, just removed. A hidden console materialized in front of him, one that existed outside of space and time. And inside it, the root code of the multiverse itself. Root code locked, the compiler must have known he would try this. A warning flashed on the screen. Warning, unauthorized access. But Jinyuk ignored it, ignoring everything except the desperate need to stop the purge. Not today, he muttered, shoving the author's quill into the console. It was like a stubborn piece of software so corrupted it could only be solved by total removal. All anomalies, all corrupt data. The compiler boomed, its voice echoing across the dying dimensions, return to null. With a final contemptuous glance at the fading image of the former author, Junuk ducked under another beam and activated his last resort. For a brief moment, nothing happened. Then the screen flickered. It was locked, but the author's quill wasn't just any tool. But as he began writing, Junuk knew it wouldn't be easy. If he could find the anomaly detection subroutine, he could remove it. Suddenly, he spotted it, a single line nestled between two mathematical constants. He scrambled to rewrite the line, hoping against hope that it would work. And as the compiler detected the change, it reacted violently, firing a barrage of purge beams at him. But Junuk was prepared. Gravity, a line of code. Life, a function. Death, a simple Boolean value. Free will, a glitch someone never fixed. The compiler twitched, its attention fully focused on Junuk as he scrambled to patch the code. Debug mo ending in 10.9, the compiler recoiled as the change took hold. Its own purge beams turned on themselves, erasing the anomaly detection subroutine from existence. And in that moment of distraction, Junuk struck. He dove through the core of the compiler, emerging on the other side. But this time things were different. Junuk wasn't just a player, not an author, not a boss. As the purge slammed into him, Junuk smirked, bracing himself. To find beam reflect. The entire Nullverse trembled as Junuk stood up, no longer a player. No longer an author. He was the system.